What's going on, everybody? Gleez here, and today we're going to take a look at this madness that is Baraka Cyrax and all the chip damage. Look at the chip on the top left. Look at my health. And we're going to talk about ways to deal with this. And there's multiple different ways to deal with this. There's many timings, or I should say at least 3 timings that people can call Cyrax out. And we're going to talk about all your options here. There's a lot of them. You do have a lot of options. It is very oppressive. But we're gonna learn to handle it right here, right now. So one of the best ways to deal with this is to flawless block. And there are gaps, we'll get to the gaps in a second, but I want to talk about the flawless blocks and where you can implement them. So many times Barakas will go 2-1 into meter burn down forward 2, they call Cyrax. I have number 2 set at the specific timing that's going to cover and keep Baraka safe in almost all instances. So number 2, that recording that I just showed you, is the best timing. And that timing is when the second hit of the special lands. Just before that, you'll see Cyrax come out. Right? So that's going to be your indicator as a player when you're looking at Baraka Cyrax and he goes into this. If Cyrax comes out in between the first and second hit of the special move, you know that he's covered all of his bases. And he's going to be safe, so you're going to have to flawless block. There's 2 spots that I recommend flawless blocking. There's a 3rd spot that you can hit, but only if he messes up the timing, and that's the last hit of the special. So we're not really going to go into that, because in most cases, you're not going to be able to get that flawless block because Cyrax is going to come in and hit you before that occurs. So what we're going to take a look at here is a flawless block on the initial special attack and on the 3rd hit of the special attack. And it looks like this. Right there. And you notice the chip, look at the chip. Top left corner, my health. Takes off way less health if you're able to get that flawless block. Once you hit the flawless block, that block string then does not take off any chip. Now we'll take a look at the other gap here, and that's the 3rd hit of the actual special move. And it looks like this. Alright, negating that chip, right? Able to play neutral. We're back here, right? We can poke, we can do some things, right? So we're in a good spot. We're able to negate that chip. Not as much as we did when we flawless blocked earlier, but still about half the damage that we normally would take. Now there is a gap here also that you can hit, and the gap is between the 2nd and 3rd hit of the special move. But notice, if he calls it correctly, you're not able to get through that. Right. Also, 2 is again the best timing. Notice that I can't punish him either. Right. It doesn't say punish. This is a 6 frame high. Right. Fastest high in the game to start a combo. Can't punish it. Right. So it is safe. We'll take a look also trying to crouch Cyrax, because Cyrax is a high. You can't do that because the overhead hits at the exact same time. Right. I can't poke out. Nothing. Right. So once you start flawless blocking and things, they're going to start calling Cyrax at different times. And they're going to try to mess you up. And there's visual indicators that you can utilize to ensure that you're doing the optimal thing, either getting a punish, armoring, or doing what you need to do. So we're going to take a look at timing number 3. And this is Cyrax coming out early, right? So a lot of times you'll see if you're really hitting the gap, they're going to call Cyrax out early, right? I see that a lot. So they're like, yo, this guy, he's not going to hit this gap, right? Maybe they're calling Cyrax a little bit late. You're hitting the gap on him. And they're like, we don't want him to hit that gap. We're going to call him early. When he comes out before the 2nd timing, which is in between the 1st and the 2nd hit of the special, I know this is like a lot to digest and recognize at once. It is cumbersome to deal with. But you need to know these things in order to get it done. So if he comes out before the 2nd and 3rd, or I'm sorry, the 1st and 2nd hit of the special, you're able to punish him. And you need to be mindful of that. So notice he's coming out before that. We're able to get a punish. Right, I dropped my combo, but you get the point. Right, so again, if he comes out before that timing, notice it says punish, and we're able to get it. All right, so you got to be aware of that. Now, sometimes he may come out late. You start punishing him for that. He's coming out early, and the Cyrax player or the Baraka Cyrax player is going to be like, you know what? I'm going to call him late, right? So if you see him come out after the 2nd hit of the special, you can actually crouch and poke him. Right, so we're able to get a poke there. and get things going, because again, Cyrax is a hot. So also, if he calls him late, you can't get that armor, right? Sometimes you'll get clipped by Cyrax anyway. Like, it's kind of wild in that way. Armoring, I don't know if it's necessarily the best thing to do. And there are some instances where, let's say I have meter, right? But if I take like any chip, right, I'm going down. So I might do this, right? So he might do bump, bump. I might get hit by it and just break, right, immediately. Because I don't even want to take any damage besides maybe like the one hit, right? So I negate all the chip that he would have done. I stay alive, especially if you miss your flawless blocks. If you miss your flawless blocks late, in some instances, not all, this is very like specific to certain circumstances where you miss your flawless block, if you're going to get chipped out, and the chip is going to be more than like the 1 or 2 hits that you'll take with breaking. Sometimes you just want to take the hit, break, you have a little bit of life left, at least you're able to continue to fight instead of just sitting there, taking all of that chip when you miss your flawless block. So just another thing to keep in mind. Oh, so there's one thing I also almost forgot, which is one of your better options. You have reversals from your cameos. So down cameo with Serena, you're able to utilize this to absorb a hit, and it's basically like an armor move. It's a great get off me move, and you can do that right in the gap. Boom, and just hit them right off of you, right? So that's actually pretty good as well. So if you have a cameo that has a good reversal like that, Serena being one of the faster ones, you can get that done too. With Kung Lao, his reversal that has armor on it is his launcher, and it's too slow. So if the reversal that you have with your cameo is too slow, maybe picking up Serena for this matchup, that might be a good option for you. Or there may be other cameos. I haven't experimented with all of them to see which ones have reversals that are fast enough to do this, but I know Serena is one. So check them all out. Let me know what you think and what you find. This is very oppressive in this game. It's something that doesn't take a ton of thought process in order to implement, and Baraka has other tools as well. So he has like the overhead, he has the low. His overhead you can actually up block. It's pretty difficult to do that in real time, but you can't up block it, and it does make it negative. So just another little tip to help you against Baraka. Baraka Cyrax is really popular, so what I would do is set up your different timings. Like, see, notice at the top I have them all set up. What I would do is set them all up, right? You have different timings. Go to your playback. I have it on right stick because I like to trigger them myself. But go to random hidden and then just practice it. Right? Practice your flawless blocks. Maybe you want to practice flawless blocking first, right? And oh man, I'm messing up. I got it. Right, so I'm practicing my flawless blocks. This spot is the best to flawless block if you can get it. Didn't get it. Right, so I'm just practicing. Right, so practice your flawless blocks, and then maybe focus on the timings, right? Get the flawless blocks down, practice that, then notice the timings of when Cyrax is coming in. It's a lot to look at and visually indicate all at once, but the more you practice it in practice mode, the better you're going to get at it. All right, so continue to practice it, continue to practice it. I'm going to say it again, continue to practice it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not great at it, but I know what I'm doing here to get the job done, and I just need to get better at it, and I think you can do that as well. So if you like this video, be sure to click the like button, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you get updated whenever I post new content. And as always, I want to thank you guys for checking in. It's Jay Gleez signing out, and continue to game strong. To deal with this stupid Baraka stuff. Jesus.